For the first time in over a half-century, the Detroit Pistons will be picking first in the NBA draft.
No one start.
Hey, that's what we do. Y'all came here for the game. I came here for the sport.
Most experts expect that selection to be silky smooth guard Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham goes up off the glass and in.
But this draft has star potential 1 through 5, including former USC big man Evan Mobley, who's already a force on both ends of the floor and is even being compared to Anthony Davis. And then there's Jalen Suggs, who became a household name in the NCAA tournament. Also a two-way player who should instantly improve any team that picks him.
Jalen, showtime, goes up high, hammers home the dunk.
This draft also has a steady G League presence with Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga, who both offer tantalizing upside. And the player who elevated his draft stock the most this past year might be Davion Mitchell, who not only led the Baylor Bears to their first national title, but also took home the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award.
Davion Mitchell in the open court, you give him a head of steam, he is going to finish at the rim.
We know who they are, but where will they go? The NBA's next wave of stars heading to a new horizon.
And here's a look at the latest mock draft according to Kyle Boone. This mock is based on long-term upside. He's got Cade Cunningham going #1 to the Pistons, can defend 4 positions on the floor, create his own shot, super clutch during his 1 season at Oklahoma State. Cunningham, followed by the G League Ignites Jalen Green, going 2nd overall to the Rockets. He said had he played college basketball, there would be different talk about who's going #1. Then it's USC big man Evan Mobley to the Cavs at 3. Another one and done. Florida State's Scotty Barnes going 4th overall to the Raptors. Rounding out the top 5 is another G League Ignite player, Jonathan Kuminga, to the Magic, with Gonzaga star Jalen Suggs falling to 6th overall to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, this mock is based on long-term upside. Welcome in CBS Sports writer Kyle Boone, who covers both college basketball and the NBA. Now on Mock Draft 8.0, you've got Cade Cunningham going #1, which most would agree. Kyle, why do you see him as having the best long-term upside?
Yeah, in June of last year, I came on HQ and I said that there was a scout that told me that Cade would have gone #1 in the 2020 NBA draft. And so that's kind of give you an idea of just how long he has been highly regarded among front offices in the NBA. He's been the #1 guy all year for us at CBS Sports. And I got a text recently from a scout who told me, and I quote, it says, "Don't make this complicated. Cade is special. His IQ, his playmaking, vision, positional size, 3-level scoring ability, efficiency, consistency, and crafty creativity is what separates him. Cade is a home run. I've seen all I need to see. He is what you want in a #1 pick." So I couldn't say it better myself. I think he's the safest two-way player in this draft. I know he's going to be a very good player for a long time between the size and the creativity. I just think clearly he has the highest long-term upside at #1 in this draft.
Averaged over 20 points a game at OSU, also faced a lot of zones, so as that NBA-ready game. Cal, you have Jalen Green as the player with the 2nd highest upside in the draft, ahead of Evan Mobley out of USC. What gives Green the edge in this spot?
Jalen Green is a special scorer. I think that's what gives him the slight nod here. Just a guy who I think can average 25 points per game in the NBA. He's got really good size. He's very athletic, can create separation for himself off the bounce as a scorer, gets to his spots with ease, and really just kind of glides. He's a special athlete and type of go-to scorer. I think his game is perfectly suited for the modern NBA, and the slight edge goes to Green over Mobley. I know Mobley is a special player. He's 7 foot. I think he can be a defensive anchor, but I like the long-term upside with Green just a tad more, knowing what he can do for me on the offensive end of the floor.
All right, one of the names popping up as a potential top 5 pick is Florida State's Scotty Barnes. I've seen him as high at #3 in some mock drafts. Kyle, why is his stock rising?
Yeah, up until here recently, he was one of the draft's best-kept secrets. He only made 7 starts in 24 games at Florida State, but his stock is on the rise in part because he's a 6'8" combo guard who led Florida State coming primarily off the bench in assists. He's a versatile defender, can guard 1 through 5, can apply pressure at the point of attack against point guards. He can switch onto wings. He can defend centers down low. And so that defensive versatility, we know that I think is going to make him a very good NBA player. He has a very high and safe floor. The shot is a question. He shot below 30% from the three-point line. I think that's really the only thing that's keeping him from potentially being the #1 prospect in this draft. But still a guy that, even 2 months ago was not really considered a lock to go inside the top 10. I think clearly right now is a top 10 guy and could go as high as #5 or #4 come draft night.
Kyle, you clearly like the direction Scotty Barnes is going, but what about a player or somebody else that's trending in the opposite direction, the wrong direction, as we get set for the NBA draft from Barclays Center here in about 2 weeks, Kyle?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Jared Butler from Baylor, and Butler went to the NBA draft combine expecting to compete and hopefully improve his draft stock. Instead, he was dinged with a medical red flag and was not able to participate, not able to play in any of the 5-on-5 stuff. And right now he's being held out, and he has to clear the NBA's protocols before he can even play in the NBA. So that is a concern kind of looming over his draft stock right now. Butler's a high-level passer. He was one of the keys to help Baylor win the national championship. He has a really tight handle and can operate really nicely in tight spaces. A lottery talent if he's fully healthy, but the medical question right now, I think, could push him to the late first round or even the second round in this draft.
All right, let's take a look at a player that you have going a few picks later in your latest mock draft. Franz Wagner going 24th to the Rockets. Interestingly, his older brother Mo went 25th overall in 2018. What's the upside on Franz Wagner?
Yeah, Wagner's a guy I think is just a very high floor. You know that he's going to be a very good NBA player. Is he going to be a superstar? I'm not entirely sure, but the 3-and-D type of prospect coming out of Michigan. He played 2 years with the Wolverines. He can switch basically 1 through 4 on defense, a guy who I think in time is going to be a reliable three-point shooter. In terms of creating his own offense, he still has a ways to go, but he's a very creative passer. I like the long-term upside with Franz Wagner. I think he has lottery potential in this draft. I have him too low, I think, probably at number 24 in this draft.
Time now for the Geico 15-second statement, a bold prediction for the 2021 NBA draft. Kyle, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so I got the Warriors shaking up the draft and making a trade. They hold the 7th pick and the 14th pick in this draft. I think that they will trade the number 7 pick in this draft in a package that includes number 2 pick from last year in James Wiseman and try and acquire a really good player to pair with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Golden State has made no mention this offseason. They have not been shy about trying to acquire talent to try and improve their roster this offseason. I think they're most likely to make a trade among teams that have a pick in the lottery or 2 picks in the lottery. And I think Golden State kind of holds the keys to draft night. I think they make a trade and try and make a big move to try and push themselves back into championship contention, which they have been in the past, but obviously they weren't last season.
Yeah, they have the 7th and 14th overall pick in the first round. Kyle Boone breaking down his latest mock draft here on CBS.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.